All right, recording and we are live. Welcome everybody. We're going to wait a few more moments while everybody enters the live webinar. So let's take a few minutes here. Hope everyone's having a great day. And today we're just going to learn a little bit more about the perfect AV combos for really any size conference room.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
Fun. Carl, you got a great office over there. I like how decorated you got it.
Yeah, we got all the different colors just kind of pop in there. We got the AVer sign up there that's made with wine corks and I don't know, I'm not sure where they got the lettering from. I think it was from a home store that was like Ross or something like that, or TJ Maxx. Anyways, we really wanted to set up a room that kind of had a lot of colors to show off the camera technology.
Yeah, cool.
I feel like you just got to explain those things to your right there.
What's that? This right here?
Yeah.
This is what powers everything. If I touch it, I'll melt.
Oh, don't touch it, please. Well, after the webinar, do what you got to do.
Wait just a couple more seconds here. We got a lot of people already on, but just make sure anyone who's running late on their meetings can jump in so they don't miss this real short webinar. We're gonna cover a lot of ground in a very short amount of time, and the plan here is when you leave, you'll have a really good idea of which audio and video combinations work best in your small, medium, large size conference rooms.
Yeah.
So, well, looks like, let's just get started here. We have quite a few people on, some questions already flowing in. So I'm going to share our presentation and let's jump in. All right, let's circle back here.
And that's the presentation. Goodbye, guys.
Little preview there. And here we are. So welcome to today's live webinar. Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your busy holiday season. I'm sure within a few days you'll be off to spending time with family or just doing whatever you're doing. So this is finding the perfect AV combo for any room. And we have brought AVer as a special guest of ours today on this Phoenix Audio webinar. We have Carl Harvell here. My name is Ryan Root. I'm the Director of Marketing for Phoenix Audio, and I'm accompanied by Zach Flanagan, our Head of Direct Channel Sales. And Carl's coming to us from the Bay Area in Northern California. So we're all happy and excited to be here. And in the next 10, 15 minutes, we're going to go through the best AV combos for your conference rooms of really any size. So let's jump right in. And Zach, I'm going to hand it right off to you.
And I'm going to take that hand off and hand it right off to Carl, our special guest, and let him start first.
Perfect.
Nice. So we're going to go over huddle rooms, which is, man, that's a hot topic that's been coming across a lot lately. Well, for AVer it has, I would imagine for Phoenix Audio as well.
It's a topic for 2 years, and for the foreseeable future will continue to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it will be. Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of companies right now. They have either office spaces or large conference rooms that they chop in half, and they want to, add more conference rooms because video conferencing is becoming more adopted, becoming more prevalent. And so you have these really small office spaces. Now, it's interesting because right here, like in this picture, you have a table in the middle of the room. But if we go to the next slide, you'll notice that there's scenarios where they get the table and they kind of slam it up against the wall. And the main reason why a lot of people like doing that is because they like hiding cables. It's a great way to hide cables. But the thing is, you need to get a camera that has a wide angle field of view, because as you get closer to the wall and the camera's closer to the wall, you have people that are sitting right along the edge there. And so, we came out with this nice little nifty camera that's specifically designed for huddle rooms. It's the Cam 340 is what's out right now, and shortly in the future we're going to come out with a camera called the 340 Plus. Now the big difference between those cameras is the field of view is going to go from 90-degree field of view to 120-degree field of view, depending upon how your room or your table is, if it's out more in the middle or if it's butted up against the wall. That's a big variable. But enough of the camera. Let's talk about the awesome speakerphones. Zach, pass the ball.
Yeah. Thank you for passing the rock. And yeah, I'll say this isn't set up in any way, but we're also using the Cam 340 in this room. So perfect timing to do a webinar from here with AVer. And before this camera, I should say that you don't want to be panning and tilting and zooming in a huddle room, right? It's a very small space. And with a regular camera, you would probably barely just get us two on the couch. Right now we have two chairs kind of off the side of the TV, but generally we can get up to like 5 people in this room. And if you're really comfortable with each other, you can get four or five guys on the couch. But we like a little bit of space here. So we put each of these 2 chairs on the sides, and this camera can pick up everybody. So it's brilliant. So we appreciate that. The price point is also fantastic too. What's the price point on this one, Carl?
That one actually goes, you know what? That's something I should know right off the top of my head. I believe it's $499 on it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's definitely one of the lower cost options because, like we said, people are putting in more huddle rooms per floor in a building.
Yeah, and huddle rooms are so simple, so a huge price point doesn't make that much sense, which is why I love our spider line in the huddle space. It covers up to 15 feet diameter, so it will cover any huddle space very, very well. And we have some form factors that other options they don't exist. So for example, you see that black and that white the spider unit with no dial pad. You can actually put those on the ceiling, which is one of the main reasons we came out with a white one, and because of customer demand. So we have one of those units on the ceiling in here. In this room, we don't have conduit. We have a couch and this table here, so we don't want over-the-floor raceway or any wires getting stretched out. So all of our wires are hidden behind the TV where the camera is, and the PC is behind the monitor. And then we have a cat cable coming from our USB extender going directly into our unit on the ceiling. So very, very easy install. And between the camera and the audio, MSRP around $1,150. So just totally affordable, and it's not cheap, right? It's high quality, affordable, which is hard to find. Beyond that, like you see in the image there, we also have a unit with a dial pad. So if you need telephony, that's totally available to you. And then lastly, you'll see in that image Condor, our microphone array. Now, it can be overkill for a huddle space, but if you do have a scenario where, and I'll give you a couple of them, if you can't put anything on the ceiling, you can't put anything on the table, then what are you going to do? You can throw our microphone array on the wall, and I promise you will cover a huddle room. It'll cover a few huddle rooms, but so it'll cover one perfectly fine. I've seen them in huddle rooms. I've seen them more popular in executive conference rooms when speaking of small spaces that have the Condor. But those are our 2 best options for the huddle space. Carl?
All right, now we're gonna go. We're gonna move it up a little bit with the medium-size conference rooms. Now, this is the space that will probably take up the most, or the conference room that would occupy almost every floor, and what everybody fights for to get into, and when they establish their meetings. So these are the ones that usually set up 7 to 10 people. And let's go on to the next slide. Now with this one, we have 2 different cameras on there, and with there's the Cam 520 and the Cam 540. We just recently came out with the Cam 540 about a month ago. And this is our first product, USB product that's coming out. That's a pan tilt zoom 4K video conferencing camera.
Wow.
The Cam 520, this has been our flagship model that's been out for about 3 years. And I mean, you can't go wrong with the Cam 520. It was, we built it to be one of those really high-end cameras that could be versatile with small conference rooms all the way up to extra large conference rooms and training areas. But we notice, like everything else in technology, evolution is something that really needs to take place. And the Cam 540 has a lot of those new features that everybody's looking for within conference rooms. So being able to have face detection, so you could have automatic framing, what we call smart framing, to where somebody walks into the room, when they start their meeting, it'll recognize how many people are in the room, feed that data back to vendors or for data gathering to see how many people are in the video call, but also frame up the video to where an individual doesn't have to zoom in, zoom out, move it left and right, and get about 4 or 5 clicks in before they even start their meeting. So the Cam 540 is that the first entry level data analytic camera that we have. That's a 4K USB camera. Definitely great with low lighting conditions as everything we produce and make. But this one is something that's going to have a long life to it as we move forward.
Nice. I'm excited to see that one. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Someone
cool.
be buddy. You deserve it.
Yeah, please. As far as Phoenix is concerned in these medium spaces, you're actually going to end up seeing the same options for a huddle space, and I'll tell you why. Well, one is I told you the Condor was a bit overkill for a huddle space. Not like you can't do it, by all means. There's just more cost-effective solutions like the Spider. In a medium-sized conference space, it's perfect for a Condor. The optimal pickup range is going to be 15 feet, depending on acoustic, how the acoustics in the room are, and you can reach up to 30 feet. So you can cover these 7 to 10 conference spaces beautifully with the Condor. The Spider's back on the list because of its unique ability to daisy chain. So you can connect up to 15 of these in a room. I doubt you'll need 15 in a medium-sized conference space. But if you needed 2 or 3, you can simply, with some Cat6 shielded cable, you can connect those 3 together or 2 together and cover these spaces very, very well. Again, you can put them on the ceiling as well. So we have multiple options for this space. And the next thing we're going to show you is obviously a bigger conference rooms, and we go into more of an integrated DSP solution. If you wanted that integrated, no programming, easy to install solution for this space as well, that's totally fine by us.
And one thing I want to point out just before we move forward is when we jump back to this room, this is a real life use case of the Condor. Now, it's actually mounted right above that monitor right there, and you typically won't even recognize that it's there. Yep. So, this is actually a customer story, or actually a partner highlight that we'll be releasing in January. Mm-hmm. So if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will see this come out, and it'll give you a really good idea of the variations of different size rooms and how our products fit in them. But that's enough for now. We'll move forward into large collaboration spaces.
Nice. These are the executive type rooms, and or that one really big conference room in a building that everybody loves to jump in and brainstorm and do different things with. But if you notice, even with the last medium-sized room, but usually with the large collaboration spaces, these are usually the rooms where facility teams really like to show off not only artwork, but fancier furniture as well as lighting. You're not going to get the typical lighting like you have probably in my office room or this room here, where it's just fluorescence above, but you'll probably have more can lighting, low light that's prevalent along those areas. And so you're going to want a camera that handles low lighting really well, but you want a camera with a good optical lens that can zoom into that very far, 30 feet away, 40 feet away, whiteboard that might be at the end of the table or at the end of the wall, or the person trying to hold up a piece of paper to say, hey, look at this, guys. I printed this out earlier for you. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see that we put it the Cam 520 as the recommended camera for very large conference rooms. Now, the reason why we did that is because, the Cam 540, when we came out with it, that is a 4K camera. But the optical zoom on there is 3.3 with a little bit of a digital zoom. Honestly, up until about 6 times zoom, the Cam 520, Cam 540 look about the same. But the Cam 520 has a 20 times zoom optical lens on it. And that one looks really good when it zooms in far, far down that table. Actually, in this room right here, that table looks like it could seat 100 people.
Yeah.
And the Cam 520 will be able to see a single hair. Actually, no, I'm joking. But it will frame up the far end of the table quite nicely with a great quality video for that conference call. That Cam 520, comes with all the connectivity options for custom room integration. So it does have RS-232 connectivity on it as well for moving the camera left and right.
Yeah. It genuinely blows me away every time we use the 520. We have it in our larger conference room downstairs, and we enjoy zooming in on people's faces in the far corner of the room. And to make a point about the quality is you don't lose any quality. You know, like if you zoomed in on your iPhone camera, you know, it gets distorted, but you know, with the quality of that lens, it's still like HD. It's really remarkable.
Yeah. It is, and when Ryan says we like to mess with people and zoom in on our employees' faces, it's Ryan that likes to do that. Ryan,
that is just me.
That's Ryan's thing.
Well, it has a lot of camera preset options, so you could do it for individual locations. So if you know somebody's trying to, shy away and be in the corner of the room, you just press one preset button and just zoom in on them. Be like, hey guys, are you paying attention?
That's what we'll have to do. Well, I use some of the presets, but I don't use it that extensively, so I'm going to have to give that a go.
Exactly.
So the audio in the larger conference rooms, generally, the Spider can get used, don't get me wrong, but, it's actually like Carl said, generally these are kind of the show-off rooms that have a higher budget, and an integrated solution is going to require a higher budget because it's just the install is a bit more complicated. There's usually microphones in the ceiling, and you need a box to kind of provide the mixing for that. So we moved to the Stingray. A lot of times they'll want some type of lapel mic, and they'll want to integrate media into it. Maybe they have room splits, all sorts of things that the Stingray then becomes a great option for. They might need control. We offer a Phoenix Connect control app for free that you can use with the Stingray. And you will see that we introduced the Condor expansion kit as well. Don't tell anybody, but it's actually just 2 Condors integrated to the Stingray. We do create some unique cabling for that to make that experience, the quality that Phoenix deems necessary. And that's been fantastic for us. We released that a couple months ago, and it's just done great. You can connect up to 4 Condors to 1 Stingray, so you can cover some pretty large spaces without having any mics on the table or on the ceiling.
No, I mean, I've been in the industry for a while, and I remember having to program some of those DSP mixers.
Oh yeah,
and that alone would take a day, and being able to get the mic gain levels and all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you what, me personally, when I tested out the Condor and the Stingray for the first time, just being able to walk around within the room and have a foreign person say, how do I sound? How do I sound? Mic check, mic check. Going to the far corner and whispering, and it brings up that mic gain. That was awesome. That was a great experience to go through, and boy, was it a time saver.
Yeah, I'm impressed by it too, and without me even working here, it's definitely impressive. And beyond that, the Stingray, when a user sets it up, or an integrator, and they spend 5 minutes setting it up, and they're like, wait, I'm done? Like, that can't be it. That usually has a very good kind of shock factor as well. So here we are in training spaces. Carl, what do we got? What do we got from you in these training spaces?
Oh man, these are those weird spaces because they're always so versatile. I mean, it's the training spaces are one of those areas where one meeting you could have it laid out within a circle. The other one, it could be like an auditorium type look where the tables usually move around. And boy, do you need some versatility with the camera that could move around in all places. So one of the big things about the Cam 520 is, it's a low price point camera. I mean, the MSRP on that one is what, $899, I believe, for that camera. And so, being able to set up multiple cameras in that room should not be an issue at all. If you really need to get various views because of various setups, the Cam 520 is still going to be one of your best options because of that 12 times optical zoom, but also being able to have a ton of presets in there. So if you do have custom integration with a touch panel that needs to have about 99 presets with it, this camera would be the one to be able to call those presets, but also handle all the different low light level scenarios, mostly when you're using a projector and or some kind of a projection screen where you have to have low light anyhow. great camera for that. One of the best things with our with the ways that we run our business is if you need to see or evaluate the camera, we'll just send it out to you and try it out, because we know every conference room is different. It's like a snowflake. They all have their little nuances between lighting, between cabling and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of our try and buy programs that definitely help out with that. And we definitely think the Cam 520 will help out within those training rooms.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for us, much like AVer, we do have the same solution for the training room. Some things I didn't mention before is there is a built-in power amplifier on our DSP, so you can feel free to utilize that and save some time and some space in the rack, and some money. I didn't mean time. Save some money. I guess it maybe we'll save some time as well. And then they're also daisy chainable, so you can daisy chain Stingrays if you need more mics. These Stingray rooms can be pretty large sometimes. Much like Carl mentioned, you may need a second camera. They might like sometimes one facing the front of the room and then facing the audience in these scenarios. So with that being said, by all means, let us mix the audio for you and the speakers, and choose whatever microphones you want, whatever speakers you want. If you do like the Condor expansion kit, then obviously those will act as microphones for you. But we're pretty agnostic in that front, and if you're interested to see which microphones have been certified and tested by our engineers, it's on our website under the Stingray page. And if you have some microphones that you love and you would like us to test and certify if they're not up there, please let us know what they are, and we'll make that happen.
Awesome. I'm going to leave you guys with 5 tips for creating a great meeting space. Now, some of these are no-brainers, but I think it's good things to think of when you're starting to decide what you want to integrate for that video conferencing experience into your room. So real quick, I think the first thing is pretty important to determine the size of your room and go into that situation knowing how large it is. Then you can determine with all of our products, the coverage of our Condor versus our Spider versus the Stingray. 2, check the lighting and acoustics. Do you need to, install more lights, or do you need to soundproof that room? If it's too echoey, or if it's a room with 4 glass walls, that can be a little challenging. For large rooms, installing HDTV or dual HDTVs. We see this all the time. You're going to want a monitor to view the video conferencing on the other end. So get dependable equipment and have a great video conferencing app. Right now we're using Zoom. There's plenty of other great conferencing software out there. And then lastly, have a meeting room booking solution such as Outlook to avoid double booking the room. No one likes when you are about to jump into a meeting and someone's already occupying the room that you were supposed to be in. So that can be a pain point for many. Well, that concludes our webinar for today. I hope you were able to identify, some of what you would consider your perfect combo for the rooms that you are looking to integrate, video conferencing technology into. If you want to learn more, you can visit phnxaudio.com. You can email us directly at info@phnxaudio.com or call us directly there at 818-937-4774. And Carl, can you share with them how they can contact you?
Oh, Carl, you're muted.
Sorry, I was following proper video conferencing etiquette.
Nice.
AVerusa.com is a website that you'd want to go to for product information. But also, if you have if you have a question, you can email us at inquiry.usa@aver.com or just give us a call at 408-263-3828.
All right. Well, do we have any questions here? Let's jump in, make sure we can answer anything right here.
Yeah, this is when it gets fun.
What's that?
This is when it gets fun with the audience questions.
Right. All right. Some of these questions I think we're going to follow up with.
Okay.
If you have any additional questions, please feel free to enter them right there in the Q&A. But other than that, thank you for spending some time with us, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.